Bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code JJ50 to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. mybookie.ag, promo code JJ50, and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. mybookie.ag.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
In on the cool check-in. Center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
You define individuals that so very kindly have supported this program 6 years, exactly what they want when they want it, whether radio, television, or podcast, which is our favorite, whenever they want it. Time for a dope pod to step to.
One thing that we'll always do is leave you with a dope pod to step to with some exclusive content just for our podcast listeners. Just letting you in, taking you behind the scenes a little bit. Had some tech difficulties today on Jalen and Jacoby. Got a little late start. Jalen's sad about it. He's got a pouty face on. And one of the byproducts of these technical difficulties is that we can not play the voicemails that our listeners have left. It saddens me. People have taken time out of their day. They've called 98580-JALEN, and we cannot hear the voicemails. However, I have a theory, Jalen Rose. Are you ready?
What's that?
I heard that there are a lot of voicemails in support of our producer, Barron. And it just so happens that the day when someone else than Reggie gets a little bit of love in the voicemails, all of a sudden we got tech problems. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just pointing out that those are both facts. Do you think that those facts may be linked?
Soft move, Barron. Come on, B.
That's not Barron. That's Reggie. Reggie only wants Reggie shout-outs on the show, so we get a bunch of voicemails in support of the rest of the staff, and all of a sudden the voicemail box doesn't work.
I'm going the other way. Barron doesn't want his name on the show,
nah, he actually
so we got a lot of
voicemails
that mention him, so all of a sudden they disappear.
He actually just texted and said he doesn't care. He just doesn't want to be on TV, he said. He's like you. He only cares about TV. But we still can go to our Twitter feed. Don't forget to follow at Jalen and Jacoby. If you're already subscribed to our podcast, make sure you tell your friends to subscribe to the podcast and leave ratings and reviews in iTunes because we are shallow and we care about the iTunes rankings, which mean absolutely nothing, but they mean something to us. First question we have, this is from co-producer, the greatest mail carrier in the land, Big Crown.
Big Crown.
When will Reggie Miller get a statue in Naptown? Will the pose be him doing the choke, and why is it called Naptown?
It's a play off Indianapolis.
He needs a statue, though. Don't you agree? There's
As
no one
it
else in that
relates
franchise.
to statues, no question about it. And for those that may say, oh, he didn't win a championship, Dominique Wilkins, the Hawks' all-time greatest player,
Stockton Malone have a statue.
has a statue, as well as Stockton Malone. So 1,000%, and it should not be him choking someone for the Knicks.
He's got a signature
it should be
release.
His trademark jumper with his leg sticking out.
Yep, he's got a
Scissor
signature
style.
release. I understand why it's called Naptown, but there is like a pun byproduct there that doesn't exactly, help. All right. Next question that we have is from Cribble. Cribble wants to know, what is your favorite board game?
My favorite board game initially growing up was Monopoly.
Takes too long.
I played a little Life, got into a little Scrabble.
Life was good.
But I'm about the cards. Give me a spades game and some Tunk all day.
I do know. Oh, I never played Tunk. I don't know how to play Tunk. Tunk
You
might
play
be cultural.
spades?
Of course I play spades. Played spades all college. Freshman year was just all spades.
There's
we
no
we didn't have enough
excuse
money
why
to go to
me
the
and you
clubs. We just go to the
haven't
basement and play spades. That's all we did.
So we got to hit up Michael and Jamel and play them.
I told you, I cheat at spades. I'm a known cheater at spades. I cheat.
So anybody
I'm telling you, everybody,
listening to
don't
this
play me in
pod-
spades because I will cheat.
Make sure you at Jamel Hill and Michael Smith, because Jacoby and I need to play them in spades.
And if Jamel doesn't hit you back, just understand. Next,
She already hit me back.
Reg. My buddy's having a baby soon and wants to know if the name Jalen is cultural. Oh, he said shout out Reg at the front.
Shout out.
Is Jalen cultural?
Absolutely not. The most famous Jalen isn't black.
What?
Testerman.
What?
What?
You're the most famous Jalen.
I'm not. I'm second.
I don't think you're second. Not
If
yet.
you Google-
Jalen Ramsey's he's hot, though. Jalen Ramsey's hot lately.
Pull out your phone and just Google Jalen right now.
That sounds like work. Why don't we just give the people? Jalen Rose. Kyrie was asked about the difference between Boston and Cleveland, and he could have given an athlete, boring, cliched answer, but he said this, quote, "You see, just a vast difference in terms of what the Midwest is, Cleveland, and what Boston is. Boston, I'm driving in and I'm thinking, I'm really playing in a real, live sports city and a great city." Jalen Rose, complimenting your new place, but really just sneak dissing where you used to play. Is that a soft move or a boss move from Kyrie?
Boss move. Here's what I'm not going to do all season. Mince every word Kyrie Irving has to say.
What?
And then try to tie it back to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cancel
Here's
the
why.
show. Cancel the show.
He flat out let the Cavs know that he wanted to be traded. So it wasn't like Isaiah Thomas, who hoped to still finish his career and be in Boston a long time and back up the Brinks truck and all of those great things. He's going to be cheered when he returns to play against the Celtics. Kyrie Irving is the villain, wants to be the villain, and he's owning it. And I'm fine with it. At this point, you got to look at it like this. He had some great years playing with LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
They won a championship together. They went to the NBA Finals a couple of years. And we all love LeBron. He's an icon and he's the king. And all players want to play with LeBron.
Sure.
But every now and then, there's going to be the guy that's like, you know what, I want my own squad.
And that's
And
Kyrie
I
Irving.
can't be mad at somebody wanted to be the headline. And so now that he's in that position and he's owning it and he's talking positive about the place that he now plays, and a lot of what he said, other than mentioning the Midwest, I know he's from the East Coast and he had to put that part in there, but you can, if you want to say Boston, quote unquote, is a better sports city than Cleveland. And here's the only reason why people will say that is because they've won more championships in all of the major sporting events than everybody recently, especially. That's what brings validity to it.
Well, Kevin Love, remember when he told us that LeBron pulled him aside and notified him that he would be playing the 5 now for the Cavs? Not the head
He put that
coach,
out there
not the
for
front
a
office.
reason.
Well, now guess what? Ty Lue was like, I don't know what he's talking about because I made that decision and that was my idea. Soft move or boss move, Ty Lue having to go on wax to pretend like he's still running the Cavs.
Soft move.
It is. Let it go, Ty.
You could just let it cook. And Ty's family. And here's how you play that. LeBron's one of the best players of all time. And he felt like having K-Love at the 5 gives us the best chance at what I do. And guess what? I looked at him and said, okay, big fella.
Oh, see, I'm going the other way. I'm like, me and LeBron talked about it. It was my idea. Me and LeBron talked about it. I was going to notify Kevin, but LeBron just jumped the gun. It was my idea. Me and LeBron had a meeting. We decided it was going to happen. It was supposed to go through proper channels, and I was supposed to be the one to notify him, but LeBron was just an insubordinate. That's what happened.
The reason why I go with my theory is because I was watching him on Mike and Mike, and that's exactly what he said.
I don't let things like facts and truth get in the way of my opinions. Moving on. There's a gentleman in the NBA. His name is DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie!
His name is DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie!
Well, Boogie was on Instagram. He was showing off his sneakers. He was very proud. He's on his stoop there. He's showing everybody his sneakers. But something else caught my eye. It's the duffel bag. It's, I believe, a Goyard designer duffel bag that kind of is a little purse-like. Designer duffel bag that's kind of a man purse. Soft move or boss move?
That's a boss move. Every time you see me like Linus with a blanket, I have a bag or a backpack.
But your backpack is designer, but it's a backpack, and you put it on your back. There's something else about carrying like a duffel bag around every day that's a little purse-ish.
I'm not the dude. Whether it's luggage through an airport, I'd rather have rollaway bags or something on my back or something I could lay over my arm versus carrying something with my arms hanging out. I got a bad shoulder, so I'm not trying to do that anyway.
Jahlil Okafor had a very revealing and excellent piece where he opened up to SB Nation about feeling like he was the odd man out on the Sixers. Here's what he said, quote, "I'm unsure if I'm still on the team. Am I really part of this process? Am I really part of this culture? That's why guys have been out there on social media, and I've just been in the dark. I'll go to a Sixers event, smile, take pictures with the kids and stuff like that, but I'm still thinking, am I part of this team?" It was so refreshing to hear an athlete sort of open up like that, and while he's still on a roster, kind of like express these feelings. But what's most interesting about this article is this fact. It was revealed that Jahlil Okafor will take a train from Philadelphia to New York City. It's about a little less than 2 hours, because he will go to a high-end I-Pick movie theater to watch movies. Soft move or boss move, taking a 2-hour train ride to have a luxurious movie theater experience.
You said luxury.
Mm-hmm.
He's a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Boss move.
No, that's a soft move.
That's what happens when you get bread and you get bored.
No,
Trust me.
but
He
I'm
just
not spending 4
told you
hours in a
everything.
train to spend 2 hours in a nice movie theater.
He just told you everything you need to hear. All you getting, sir, is the story. The headline is what he's doing after the movie.
Yeah, that's a
in
good
New
point.
York City.
Yeah, he's probably not in New York City because he loves the movie theater. He's probably in New York City because he loves the nightlife and he loves the restaurants and they're open late and all the
When
women
you
that are
have
there.
bread and you get bored, he's not playing. He doesn't feel like he's part of the process. He doesn't feel like he's one of the guys, as he's alluded. Basically, they post stuff on social media and don't include me. So that's his escape. Get on the train, get to New York City, get it in, and look at their roster. Like, you know what? I could get buckets if I play with them.
Let me tell you one thing. I was against this, and then I looked up the movie theater. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. If you're a tall fella, there's some seats you can lie down on.
Shout out.
Bowl season is here. Are you ready to cash in on what you know? Where you play is as important as what you play. The pros play at mybookie.ag. All the lines, odds, and plays, both college and pro, all at mybookie.ag. Play where you get paid super fast and there's never a hassle. Step up and mybookie.ag will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code JJ50 to activate the offer. Don't leave the money on the table. mybookie.ag, promo code JJ50, and your first deposit is matched up to 50%. Play where the pros play because they get paid. mybookie.ag.
Jalen Rose. One thing I know you will not stand for is Nas slander on this program. And not only did Lonzo Ball slander Nas once, now there is this picture that has surfaced with his quote-unquote manager and trainer wearing a shirt with Lonzo's face on the Illmatic cover. I know you're speechless, but if you could gather your composure, get yourself together, process this information, and reflect on this premeditated Nas slander from the Lonzo Ball camp.
Is that the all-time classic Illmatic cover?
I know, and they took out Nas and put Zoe. They didn't just put his face there that says Zoe in the same font.
Oh, my
Are you
goodness.
okay?
Big and Tupac both just rolled over in their graves.
It's hard to root for Lonzo Ball now. I'm not going to lie. I love Lonzo Ball's game. I was so excited about watching him in the regular season. I love his pass. I even love his weird jump shot. But this is hard to get over. Here's the thing. Jay-Z lost a battle to Nas. How do you think Lonzo Ball's going to fare? You know, Jay-Z lost a battle to Nas, and now we got Lonzo Ball, who is a rapper, trying to take shots.
Thank you. You're talking about his athletic prowess. He actually fancies himself as an artist, as an MC. What? And also, the last time I checked, Nas is still current, still relevant,
yes,
still an important industry tastemaker to this day.
When he said what he said on the television show, I could understand that he was in a moment. He was doing an interview. It wasn't premeditated. It wasn't thought through. He was just trying to think of somebody, and Nas's name came out of his lips. I can understand that. I can almost kind of forgive him for that. But when you have someone in your camp calling someone up and say, all right, I need to Photoshop. You need to take Zoe's face and put it on the Illmatic cover and then change the font and send me that as soon as possible because I'm then going to put it on a T-shirt and we're going to wear it and someone's going to publicize that?
In Live at the Barbecue, he was a teenager, and he talked about going to prison for snuffing somebody that I'm not going to mention on this program. That's how Illmatic Nasir Jones is with this. I'm never speechless.
I feel like it's like Candyman. Like if he mentions
time.
Nas's name again, there's going to be problems. Let's move on, though. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James are back on the court playing basketball together. Just look at how they rekindled this chemistry on this alley-oop off the backboard from Wade and then up, out. Oh. It didn't come through for him. How have things changed for these two since Miami?
At this point, right track, wrong train. Here's what I mean. When they linked up in Miami, it was at different points of their careers, and they both were able to fancy themselves on the perimeter where they could be dominant all-NBA performers at what they do.
LeBron's still that.
Bron is still that player. Dwayne Wade, at this point, and rightfully so, we all age. I've been there, and I'm nowhere in the class of Dwayne Wade. He's clearly done that. Now, here's the difference. At this point, can he still get buckets?
Sure.
Yes. At the end of games, can you still give the ball to D-Wade?
Sure.
And trust that he's going to make a quality play?
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. But in today's game, in the Eastern Conference, on a nightly basis, starting against Bradley Beal, Gordon Hayward, and DeMar DeRozan. Oh, and by the way, when James Harden or Klay Thompson come to town, as a starter, those are his matchups on that end of the floor. On the offensive end of the floor, LeBron has gotten used to it being spread to the point where he can go downhill, kick it to catch-and-shoot players, and or lob it over the top to Tristan Thompson in particular. The geometry of this starting lineup is so vastly different, not only having Dwayne Wade at shooting guard instead of J.R. Smith, who's a heat-check player, but also having Kevin Love at the 5 spot as opposed to Tristan Thompson. That's a remarkable difference to the point where they may want Love to play at center, and I know LeBron told him that during a workout, not Tyronn Lue, but I'm not sure Dwayne Wade in the starting lineup is what's best for the squad at this point.
You can lob it up to Kevin Love. He's just going to catch it, land, up fake, up fake, up fake, and then try to draw a foul. I know how that game works. Moving on, there was a big game between Venezuela and Paraguay. Venezuela ended up winning, but that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what Coach Rafael Dudamel claimed. He claimed that a number of women were sent to the hotel that the Venezuelan team was staying at in an attempt to distract and fatigue the Venezuelan players. Hindi said, quote, "We're not surprised by these female visits. I don't know who sent them. These are old strategies." First of all, Jalen Rose. Would a 24-year-old NBA playing Jalen Rose have been distracted by these, quote, old strategies?
I got to bring you behind the curtain.
Take us behind the curtain.
I've told so many tales on this program. This is something that I've never truly alluded to that I want to share, because I understand that there's a statute of limitations, so I won't mention any names, but I'll mention the overtone of how this takes place.
Do it. Give it to us.
And I'm not going to just give you college visits like you saw with Rick Pitino's assistant, hiring strippers to dance for the recruits and possibly give sexual favors. That's juvenile.
Give us the goods, Jalen.
Okay. When you're an NBA performer, what you do, especially when you're the home team, you no doubt make sure the party goers in that town, the live DJs, the movers and shakers of the industry that are local, you make sure they host a party the night before the home game. This is something distinctly that took place when I was in Indiana, Chicago, and definitely Toronto.
So you would talk to promoters and bottle hostesses and nightclub people, and you would tell them to throw a big party the day before big games, and you would encourage them to keep opposing players up and out as late as possible.
It's easy. Just think about this. When you travel in for the game, you're away from your family and your friends, so it's an opportunity to decompress. You're with your teammates. You're on the road. You ever heard of girls' night out? You ever heard of boys' weekend? It's no different when you're on the road and the game isn't till the next night at 7 p.m. You remember the Knicks when they were playing 12 noon games? You remember their record was a couple of years ago?
Yes, of course. I've been to those games. The Garden is just dead. But hold on. Let's not pretend that you were always on the one side of this. Have you ever been out at a nightclub before a game in another city and they're being real nice to you? They're bringing you free bottles, and all of a sudden you're starting to just smell around and be like, something's fishy here. Have you ever fallen victim to this?
Every person that's played in the NBA that champagne and campaign in their own right was a victim to this. Because let me tell you how it works. You ever seen a flyer that says something called special invited guest? Mm-hmm. That's the road team. You put their names on the flyers. Initially, they used to get mad about not getting paid. Then they realized, hey, I get a couple of bottles, I meet some people, I champagne and campaign, I do what I do, and I'm back at the spot. So it was a win-win for everybody involved. No harm, no foul.
That's why I love doing this show with you. You take us behind the curtain. It's time for Keep It Moving. Jalen Rose, you know how this works. I'm going to say something that happened in the world of sports or pop culture. If you want to discuss it, you say hit the brakes. If you don't, you say keep it moving. First, James Harden is apparently frustrated with the James Harden rule. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
The Rocket star has been extremely successful drawing fouls in his career, said, quote, "It better not be an issue. A foul is a foul no matter where it's being called. It's a foul. You can't pick and choose when not to call fouls. Whatever it is, they better figure it out." What do you think about his logic?
Well, he's been amongst the league leaders in free throws attempted and free throws made. And being a crafty lefty and playing with power and efficiency, driving to the basket, he does a really good job of literally throwing his body around, flailing his arms, hitting you with his shoulders, doing what great offensive players do, draw contact. And especially off pick and rolls, when somebody goes over the top, automatically shoots the jump shot when he's on their hip. It's on his hip. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
A man in Iowa took state troopers intentionally
hit the brakes
on a 10 to 15-minute race. We hit the brakes. This gentleman was pulled over. He told the state troopers that a car chase was, quote, on his bucket list. Do you support this behavior?
Cultural.
Here's my thing.
No question about it.
I'm supposed to be, like I know in my moral sense that I'm supposed to be against this because it takes police away from doing more important things. It takes taxpayers' money and resources. But at its very core, this dude was like, man, I've seen a lot of car chases on movies and television. You know what? I want to do that. I just want to see what happens. I want to see what it feels like. Why not? It's a boss move. I'm supporting it.
That's a soft move.
I'm supporting it.
People that look like me aren't trying to get the police to chase after
The
them.
Jacksonville Jaguars defense is looking for a nickname, and they're asking for help. Hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. They've been balling, but not yet.
Steph Curry revealed who he would pick if he was an all-star captain.
All of the Golden State Warriors, keep it moving.
Okay. Yusuf Nurkic wants the Trailblazers to be like the bad boys. Keep it moving.
Keep
hit the
it
brakes.
moving. The rules are different. I love the Mama's boys, and Nurkic gonna ball this year.
I thought he meant Bad Boys, the movie, at first. Next, Marlins Derek Jeter says he'd be okay with players taking a knee during the anthem. Keep moving.
Hit the brakes.
Okay. Derek Jeter is now the owner of the Marlins. He said he would be okay with it if players took a knee.
It's one of those things that I talked about when 45 got in office, is that as he ran a divisive campaign, it was going to clearly divide our country in a lot of different ways, and he continues to double down on that behavior. And I acknowledge that it wasn't going to be any more prevalent in sports than in the NBA and the NFL. And we've seen how that's transpired in both leagues. We've seen multiple teams now draw themselves from actually staying at branded hotels that bears his name. But we haven't really seen it in baseball. We haven't really seen it in hockey. Derek Jeter's getting in front of the curve. This may take place. Stay tuned.
Moving on to Steve Kerr. He said he got the Warriors' offense to click by offering them a little something. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving, because he couldn't get them offered to go to the White House.
Here's
I
the
wonder
thing.
why.
Finally, Tim Hortons has a very special latte. Would you like to hear
Hit the
about
brakes.
it? Okay.
That'll make you happy.
Tim Hortons is offering a latte with buffalo seasoning. This has gone too far. A pumpkin seasoning, I mean, come on. This has gone way too far. I do not need a spicy latte. This sounds absolutely disgusting. The only thing I want buffalo seasoning on is my wings. We'll be back tomorrow on Jalen and Jacoby.